Okay, this is part B of the video that we've just had, and I did manage to turn the light on as long as, apparently I had hit a keyboard or done something, hit a wire with my foot or something and disconnected the camera. So we have just a few minutes to to go on. We're talking now about new tablets. In chapter 34, God tells Moses to make some more stones, more tablets, upon which the Ten Commandments will be written. Be ready in the morning and come up in the morning onto Mount Sinai. We're going there again. And present thyself there to me at the top of the mount. And no man shall come up with thee. Neither let any man be seen throughout all the mount. Don't let the flocks or the herds come and feed on the mountain. Same directions as they had the first time. And when he hewed the 2 tablets of stone, Moses got up early in the morning and went to the Mount Sinai, and as the Lord had commanded him, and he took in his hand the 2 tablets of stone. And the Lord descended in a cloud and stood up there with him and proclaimed in the name of the Lord. The Lord passed by before him and proclaimed, the Lord is merciful and gracious, long-suffering, and abundant in goodness and truth. The Lord would have to be long-suffering to deal with these people. Keeping mercy for thousands, forgiving iniquity and transgression and sin, so that no means will they be guilty, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children and the children's children under the 3rd and 4th generation. And Moses made haste, he hurried up, and he bowed his head toward the earth, and he worshiped. And he said, if now I have found grace in your sight, O Lord, I pray, go among us, for this is a stiff-necked people. Pardon our iniquity. I don't know that Moses had iniquity, but this is the way Old Testament prophets prayed. They began by confessing their own sin. Daniel did this. Others did. Verse 10. And he said, behold, I make a covenant between all the people. I will do marvels that you haven't seen in all the earth or any nation. This is a terrible thing I will do with thee. Terrible doesn't mean a bad thing. It means a tremendous thing. Observe thou that I will command thee on this day. I will drive out before the Amorite, the Canaanite, the Gittite, the Perizzite, the Hivite, and the Jebusite. Take heed, lest thou make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land whither thou goest. I'm sending you someplace, but you don't make an agreement with those people. I have a plan. I'm sending it. I'm going to get them out of the land. I'm putting you in the land. You don't get in there and talk to them and arrange some agreement. I'm telling you how it's going to be. And you'll destroy their altars. Can't say, well, they have their altars. We might as well use them. We can worship our God with them, but we might as well. You'll destroy their altars. You'll break their images. You'll cut down their groves. Groves were sometimes used for worship. And you worship no other God, for the Lord God, whose name is jealous. God said, I'm so jealous, call me God. That's my name, jealous. Lest you make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land and go a-whoring after their gods. And one call thee, and thou eat of the sacrifice. As a Christian, you know, you have got to get rid of everything that is not godly. You can't say, well, the people that lived in this house before, they had this little altar there. what's it going to hurt? It's good looking, it's artistic, it's valuable. We can't just throw it out, it's valuable. Yes, you can. You had better get rid of everything that is not godly because it'll ruin you. It'll draw you to it. And God is saying, get rid of all that stuff because that altar that somebody else made and left, they're gone, and that altar's still there. That altar is going to say, what's it going to hurt? I mean, you'll sacrifice to their gods, and you'll take their daughters to your sons. You'll say to your son, well, she's not a Hebrew, but ain't she pretty? And it'll make your sons go a whoring after their gods. It doesn't take that much to get away from God. Don't make molten gods. Don't take gold or brass and heat it up and form some type of a god out of it. The Feast of Unleavened Bread you'll keep. 7 days you'll eat unleavened bread. In the month of whehich, that's the month you came out of Egypt, so I presume we have had a year pass here. Or he's talking about what they will do when the year is over. All that open up the matrix is mine. The firstborn baby opens the uterus, opens the womb. So God is basically saying, your firstborn is mine. Whether it's your children, your cattle, an ox, a sheep, that it's male, the first male born. But the firstling of a donkey, thou shalt redeem with a lamb. I don't want no donkeys. What are donkeys? What are mules? They're hybrids, right? They're not natural born. They're not two animals, a male and a female of the same animal. You will break its neck. The firstborn of thy sons you'll redeem, and none shall appear before me empty. 6 days you work, and the seventh you rest. The same will happen with your harvest. My grandpa used to let land rest sometimes, or he would plant a different crop. He would say, certain crops take certain things out of the soil. And if you keep putting the same crop in the same place, you deplete the soil. So you have to change crops. Where you had wheat, next year you plant corn. And you'll observe the Feast of Weeks, the first fruits, the wheat harvest, the feast of gathering in the year's end. 3 times a year, you and all of your men will appear before the God of Israel. You better show up at the tabernacle. I will cast out other nations before you, and I will enlarge your borders. I need to mark that in my Bible. Enlarge your borders. The land that I give you will become more than what it appears to be. You won't offer blood sacrifice without leaven. With leaven. Neither shall the sacrifice of the feast of the Passover be left until the morning. Remember from the year before, they had to consume it. There had to be 12 to 14 people inside that house because they were to eat the entire lamb. There was to be nothing left over. The first fruits of the land you bring unto the house of the Lord. We're almost there. You'll not see the kid in his mother's milk. The Lord told Moses, write these words. For after the tenor of these words, I've made a covenant with you and with Israel. And he was there with the Lord 40 days and 40 nights again. He didn't eat bread, he didn't drink water, and he wrote upon the tablets the words of the covenant, the 10 Commandments. And it came to pass when Moses came down from Mount Sinai with the 2 tablets of testimony in Moses' hands, that Moses wist not. Moses had no clue. Moses didn't know that the skin of his face shone while he talked with them. 40 days, 40 nights, Mount Sinai with God. He had no mirror. There was nobody up there with him to tell him what he looked like. He didn't know. He came down off that mountain. His face was shining. The closer we are to God and the more we spend with him, the more we start looking and acting like him. That's just a matter of truth. When Aaron and all the children of Israel saw Moses, behold, the skin of his face shone, and they were afraid to get near to him. And Moses called them and the rulers of the congregation, and Moses talked with them. And afterward the children of Israel came near, and he gave them the commandment the Lord had given him. Till Moses was done speaking with them, he put a veil on his face, like looking at eclipse of the sun. I remember going to a deposition in an attorney's office, and I happened to mention to him that at such and such a time there was going to be an eclipse of the sun. About 5 minutes before the time of the eclipse of the sun, the attorney who was taking the deposition, asking the questions, said, we're going to have a break, go off the record. He went into his office and he came back with a bunch of x-rays. I don't know what client of his, he had his client's x-rays. But he gave us these x-rays and he said, now if you all want to go out and look at the sun, look through these things. I don't know about that, but couldn't look at Moses' face. And Moses put a veil on his face. Moses went before the Lord to speak with him. He took the veil off until he came out. And he came out and he spake with the children of Israel, that which God had commanded him. And the children of Israel saw the face of Moses, that the skin of Moses' face is shone. And Moses put the veil back on his face again until he went in to speak with him. We will finish. I can see no reason why we won't finish the book of Exodus next week. Exodus has only, is it 40? 40 chapters. So we have 35, 36, 37, 38, and 40, and they're very similar. They have to do with the furniture again that's inside of the tabernacle. So I'm going to close this video. It's only 14 and a half minutes, but I can't have a video where suddenly I step on something or drop something and that's the end of it. So until the next video, blessings on you.